How many of you are hungry for pumpkin pie? I know I am very, very hungry for pumpkin pie. Started out, I got some hot water. Got to have myself some hot chocolate. Got me some hot water mixed up, and got it from my favorite mug. You know, my hot chocolate, I know we're talking about pumpkin pie, but I like taking powdered milk. This particular one is candy cane cocoa, and I take powdered milk and I buy it in a gallon can, and I put the powdered milk and chocolate in here first, then the powdered milk, then I stir it up. Then I take it and heat my water up, and tell you, the powdered milk really brings out the flavor in chocolate milk. I got a cup here from Nebraska. My wife and I, when we drove truck years ago, we stopped and got a mug from every state in the 48 states. Anyway, back to the pumpkin. I'm going to start off with a big can, and you can buy these things. This is the puree. You don't want the pumpkin that has the spices in it, okay? You want to add your own spices. It just doesn't work the same. So anyway, what I'm going to do is, I've already opened it up in the canning. I'm going to pop a couple of holes in here. What that does is, you can probably see right here, you raise it up, there's your pumpkin. Out it comes. Take your spatula, clean your can out, because you don't want to waste any pumpkin. I love pumpkin. In fact, many people call me names like I'm a pumpkin fanatic. I get YouTube stuffs and Facebook stuff of pumpkin recipes, and to Steve, you need to try this. Steve, you need to make this. Steve, what do you think of this? I love pumpkin. Pumpkin's really good for you. But anyway, I'm going to get on with it. Get that mug out of the way. First thing I've got to do is, we got some ingredients we got to mix together. First of all, we got to have 2 eggs. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the yolks in one and the whites in the other. And this one is going to have the whites. This is a quick and easy way. My mother taught me how to do this. Showed me how to separate eggs, and you don't put the shell in it. I'm going to whip these egg yolk, or the whites, up later here. Oops, I muffed up there. That's what a spoon's for. I really muffed up here, but we're going to be okay. This particular recipe, the separation is not that critical. I'll put that over there, and we'll beat that up. And anyway, I got to wipe my hands off here. I didn't expect to get my fingers in it like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I wanted to make sure I put the egg yolks in another bowl. This is my mixing bowl. I'm just going to do it by hand. And the reason is, if you get an eggshell or something, nobody wants to eat pumpkin pie with an eggshell. So that's the reason I do it. Now, I'm only going to need to use half of this can. Okay? So I'm going to just kind of estimate how much pie shell or pumpkin pie. About half of it. I need a little bit more. That looks, just touch. You can never go too bad on, far off on pumpkin. Grab me a whip here, and I'm going to stir that up a little. Now this particular pumpkin pie I'm making is a little different. I'm not going to say we don't use sugar, because we actually do. It's sweetened condensed milk. This is where we get our sugar from, okay? So all the sugar is going to become right from this milk. I'm going to go ahead and scrape the can out. And you might want to, you know, a good cook always samples his food. Make sure you don't cut your tongue, but good milk. Very important. A good cook samples his food. Okay. I'm going to stir that up now. Want to make this really, blend it really good. We don't have to beat it up with a mix master or anything. Just a wire whip will do the job. Now, some people want to use different spices like cinnamon and allspice and ginger and things, okay? I buy my pumpkin pie spice. You can tell it's almost empty. I've made a lot of pies. Anyway, I buy it in a big container. They last longer. And it calls for a little salt. I'm going to be putting this recipe on my website, sundogfilmproductions.com. So I will put this recipe on there. But I've already measured my 2 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice, a little salt, and I'm going to throw that in. Now, just because I am the connoisseur of all pumpkin pies, did not allspice, okay? I'm just going to add a little extra. Yeah, about that much. That looks like a good amount. Okay. Like my pumpkin pie, just a little bit with a spice, kind of a bite, maybe you say, you know. And anyway, I'm going to start my mixture up over here. What I'm wanting to do here is I want to beat my egg whites till they're soft peaked. A soft peak it's not a hard peak, okay? You know the difference between a hard peak and a soft peak, okay? Anyway, I'm going to beat it up and then fold that into my pumpkin mixture here. So it's already here. And while this is beaten up here, I'm putting it in a deep dish, okay? You're going to find that pie shell, you know, with anything else, everything is getting smaller. Every one of you know that. It's all getting smaller. Same with pie shells. So if you're following an old recipe that you've had for years, the mixture you put into it, originally mixed, is not going to fit in that pie shell. Okay? Because the pie shell's got just a little bit smaller. Basically costs. Production costs. They have to do something to justify their company, to justify charging, either charge, I think I paid $2.49 for 2 of these pie shells in one package. So, you know, they can either make smaller pie shells by just a little, and it wouldn't take much to make a difference, or they can charge $2.89 for the same 2 pie shells. And since you look at prices more than you do size, you'll buy the $2.49 versus the $2.89, and you're actually getting the same pie shell. The same, not size, basically the same pie. And you always have leftover. And what I do, and I didn't get it out, but what I do is I have another bowl, metal bowl that I can put in the oven and cook up. And so I fill my pie shell, the rest of it I put in my little container, put it in the oven, and I bake it all at the same time. Right now, while that's mixing up, I'm going to start my oven up. Start warming my oven up to 450. What I'm going to do is cook it at 450 for 15 minutes. And then I'm going to bring my pie out, and I've got a special blend that's topping. This is walnuts with some brown sugar, a little flour, Remember, the recipe's going to go in. And you can buy these all crushed up for you. That egg yolk's making it a little harder to stiffen. But we're going to be okay here. You can't really ruin a pumpkin pie. Just, they're very good. While I'm thinking here, build this mix master. You know, my wife the other day was in a store and she walked casually over to the appliances and she says, "See that mix master right there?" And I said, "Yeah." And she says, "Doesn't that look good?" And I says, "Yeah." I says, "But why are you looking at it? You got one." "Yeah, there it is. There it is. It works." Okay. So, and she says, "Well, I know, but you know, now what we're going to do is blend this in. So I'm just going to talk and blend. I'm going to slowly fold it in. It's the word fold. But I'm going to slowly fold this in. But she says, "Wouldn't that look nice in the cupboard?" So I started calculating, you know, okay, Thanksgiving's coming up. Then there's Christmas. Ah, I see what she's getting to. New blender, new mix master setting so she can do whatever she wants to do. And she's a great cook. My wife's a great cook. And we kind of compete for the kitchen. And I think sometimes it makes her a little upset because I'm competing. She'll call some of these spices her spices. And, you know, and these things, it's hers. But I don't tell her. I don't make a fuss out of it. Because if she wants to make the stuff, that's fine. But you know who's making it tonight? That's right. Anyway, I'm going to pour this in this pipe. Make sure you've taken it out of the freezer if you froze it. And as you can tell, we got to allow a little space for the topping. And we want to allow a little space for it to get in the oven so we don't spill it. And you can see, let's see if we can get that up there. It didn't all fit. Okay. So I'm going to have to get my little cup out and pour that in so we can bake it all. What I'm going to do is grab a pie pan or a cookie sheet. I'm not going to move my pie because I don't want it to move it any more than I have to. Take a cookie sheet. Grab some aluminum foil out of the cupboard. Now I know if I was one of these professional cooks that's on TV all the time, this would all be laid out so perfect, okay? Or even my wife. But I'm not. I just have fun cooking. I really enjoy cooking, okay? Learned a lot of this from my mother, okay? She taught me how to cook. So anyway, I'm going to move this right over here. I'm going to check and see what our oven's doing. Well, I'm at 205. I'm going to have a cup of hot chocolate, and let's take a short break until our temperature gets up to 450 on our oven. Should we? So if you're out there doing something important, want to go, you know, watch TV or what do you want to do? Maybe you want to get maybe you like a glass of wine or some hot chocolate or coffee or something, you know. It is the season. It really is. Getting cool outside. Higher elevations are getting snow, and it's just time to have something nice and to warm your belly up and make you feel good. It's a time of cheer, Thanksgiving, giving. Give to others. Help others, you know, maybe your church, or maybe just if you're not a church-going person, maybe you've got a neighbor or a homeless person. You know, my wife's put together a package. It's got a frozen turkey in it, and it'll have like 5 pounds of potatoes and some pumpkin pie and some vegetables. And anyway, there's a list. She's put together this, and guess she's got somebody in mind. But we're going to take that over to somebody for Thanksgiving dinner, just, you know, a week before Thanksgiving, so they can appreciate and have a little extra that we do have that we can give to somebody else. Anyway, let's take a break, and I'll be back here shortly, and we'll get this pumpkin pie in the oven. Okay, good enough. We'll see ya. Okay, I'm back. Oven got to 450, but in the meanwhile, while it was heating, popped in me some popcorn here. I know good cooks would have their oven preheated, and some of you are out there looking and going, what kind of cook's this guy? Well, what are the kind of cooks with a black hat on? Anyway, so while you was gone, I got my little tray out, poured my excess pumpkin in there, got me a spice swizzle stick. Everybody needs a little smelling. It's festivity. It's time of the year that makes things, it's in the air. You just feel like it. The weather cools down, and some places get snow, others don't. But it's the time of the year of giving. Sounds like my cookie sheet went. It'll lay it back out. Anyway, I'm going to take another break. We got 15 minutes. Okay? Pie's got to cook for 15 minutes. It's going to set the pie that's there, the liquid, because that's really the term I'm trying to come up with, whatever you call it, the batter, the liquid, whatever. And then I've got some topping. It's got walnuts, and a recipe you can find on sundogfilmproductions.com. And I'll put that on top of the pie. So anyway, why don't you go and cook yourself up some popcorn, and just like I've got, I'm going to have another handful of this, and we'll be back in 15 minutes. See you in a minute. Bye. Hey, I'm glad you're back. Okay, our 15 minutes is up. Did you go out and get some popcorn or something? I hope so. I really do. Something to drink, and I'm glad to have you back. Anyway, I'm going to take our pie out of the oven. I've reduced the temperature down to 350. And so we'll cook it for 40 more minutes after we put it back in the oven. But right now we're going to put some stuff on top of it. I'm just leaving the door open, oven door. I'm going to put some little, this is a walnut cinnamon mixture. You can get the recipe off my website, Sundog Film Productions. And I'm going to put it back in. If I can get this glove on the right way. Good thing I'm not a fireman. I'd have a problem, probably burn up before I got my little gloves on. Oop. About spilled that one. I got to be careful here. And my little tray of leftovers. Will take almost as much time as regular pie to cook. So now we're 40 minutes. But instead of have you sitting around, because I know you've got other things to do, I baked this up last night. If you can see it, that is really what it's going to look like. Okay, see the topping. Okay, yes, I've ate all that. I told you I love pumpkin, and no, my wife didn't have any of it. Just me, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But anyway, this is what our pie is going to look like when it comes out. But it'll be full, you know. Won't have me eating it all. That one we'll put in the oven or freezer and freeze it, and we'll save it for maybe a week. Yeah, it might last a week. Anyway, I'm Steve Allen, and I hope you had learned something, a few things. You know, I love cooking. I love cutting corners. I love experimenting. I love trying different things, new spices, my own version of this and that and whatever, and how to cook things. And it seems like it always works out pretty good. You know, pretty good. I've had a few failures in my life, but most of the time it comes out pretty darn good. But anyway, I'm Steve Allen, and be sure to check in on some of my other YouTube videos, and I'll put that address right there. And you're watching this course on YouTube, but there'll be some links that you can send to some of my other fishing videos and clamming videos and Country Boy Show and a few things I got running out there. And I'm so great. I was just looking at this afternoon. I crossed over the 15,000 subscribers, and so please subscribe. And I crossed over. I'm pushing almost 13 million now viewers. So there's somebody out there that likes me somewhere. Anyway, you just have a good day, and I'll be back, and catch me again, as I'll be baking up something here in a couple of days. So come back. Let's get to know each other a little better. I'll see you. Steve Allen. I'm gone. Have a good night.